In this unit, we want to look at creating a data capture template. When you design your survey and distribute and collect data, it is very essential that before you enter your data, you plan it so that you do not make mistakes in data entry, because once you enter your data from your survey wrongly, it's going to actually affect every other thing you're going to do. So data capturing is a very important aspect of survey analysis, that even if you are not going to be the one to capture your data, you need to design or create a data capture template so that those who will do that for you, the data entry staff, will be able to enter the data appropriately. And also, when you are analyzing the data or when you have the data to make use of, you'll be able to trace where there's a problem, if there is any. If you do not design the data capture template properly, you may not be able to identify some wrong entries and also identify those who have entered them. So it's very important that you create a data capturing template and also design it very well. So it is expected that at the end of this unit that you should be able to create a data capture template in Microsoft Excel and also design it in a way that you're able to capture your survey data. So let us go to Excel and see what we can do. Okay, this is an Excel file that I created for data entry. Now, as it is, I added the survey here so that you'll be able to see the survey, the questionnaire we want to create the data capture sheet for. So if you look at the questionnaire, you see that we have different sections. We have section 1 and section 2. I purposely blinded some areas. So now we have about 12 questions. So we have from 1 to 12, but I blinded 10 as well. Okay, so to create data capture sheet for this survey, we are going to start from here. I want you to understand or to note that the rows will be at the cases. The rows will represent the cases, that is the number of questionnaires we have. Each questionnaire will be entered in a row, while the columns, this area, will be representing the questions. Like in this case, we have about 11 questions. Though it's showing 12, but I blended 10, so it's about 11 questions. So let us see how we can do this. We have 12, or rather 11 questions. So we have 50 cases. So we'll start from here to enter the values. We type serial number, type 1, 2. We want to type to 50 because we have 50 questionnaires we want to enter. So instead of typing from 1 to 50, we highlight 1 and 2 we have typed. Then click on this little knob here. It turns to an arrow. Click on it and hold. Drag it down to, you see, 50 as it's showing up there. So release it. We have number of cases. So we go over here and start entering the questions. So we enter them as Q, Q1, the next column, Q2, the next column, Q3, the next column, Q4, next one, Q5. We keep going, Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q11. Mind you, I blanked off 10. So we have finally Q12. But mind you, our Q12, let's move down, is not just a single question. This is what we call a multiple response question. So the respondents are supposed to select more than one option. So in that case, we are not going to enter it just as 12, Q12. Rather, we'll do it like this, Q12I. That's the way we're going to go about it. We'll go Q12II, Q12III, till we get to 12XX, because the options we have in question 12, they are up to XX. So that is how we do that. Then we come over here, because we have two sections. Section 1 covers from question 1 to question 9, and section 2 has two questions here, 11 and 12. So let's highlight up here click here and drag to question 9 and go to Home tab on the menu bar, click on Merge and Center, then type section 1, put a colon and type socio-economic profile. When you're done, press enter, go back to it and do some formatting, make it bold. Okay, so the next section goes from 11 to 12. So we click on this cell K1, drag it to the right till you get to the last variable, that is Q12XX. So when you've done that, go to the menu bar, click on Home, move to Merge and Center, click on it. Okay, and start typing section 2. Let's move down to our section 2. Our section 2 is widowhood practice. So go back there, put a colon and type widowhood practice. Press enter, go back to it and do some formatting there. Let's make it bold. Okay, so having done that, you see that if we start entering data, for instance, we've entered data from 1 to, let's say, 28. Now we need to enter 29. If you press enter, you see what happens. Section is gone up here. Now we are done entering 29, for instance. Press enter again. You see that the variables, the queues are gone. And this is not good. You may have a case where you have up to 1,000 surveys to enter, or more than that or less. But once it passes the line where you have your variables that guide you, you find out that it becomes difficult, because you may get to a point, let's say you keep going and you get to this point. You may not know whether it is Q1 or Q2 or Q3 or Q10 that you really need to. That will make you try to go back to be sure that you are on a particular variable. So to avoid that, we're going to do something. Also, what we'll do will help us that by the time you keep entering and you've entered from Q1, you keep going, keep entering till you get to, let's say, 12. You see that it has shifted. You get to 12x and you have to enter. You find out that the serial number by the right that shows the cases, they are all gone. You won't be able to see them. So you may get to a point, let's say you get to this point and you may not know whether you are on 21, because these row numbers are not the numbers we have given to our cases. So we are going to do something now that when you keep going to the right, as far as you go, you keep seeing these numbers, these serial numbers, and also as low as you go below to enter values, you keep seeing all these queues, the questions. So go to this place to B3 if you have designed yours as mine, and click. Now we are going to put a line on top of this cell below this Q1 and put in front of this A like this, so that whenever you go below, they will keep showing. You go to the right, they will keep showing. So to do that, go to the menu bar, click on, as you have clicked, selected this cell, this B3, go to the menu bar, click on view, move to your right, you see freeze panes, drop it down and click on this first one that says freeze panes. It says keep rows and columns visible while the rest of the worksheet scrolls. So when you click on it, observe what happens. Find out that there's a line now, a stronger line than the one we have this way and that way too. Now let us scroll down. As you go down, you keep seeing all this. They will keep showing. So you see that we keep seeing the Q1 and the section. Now let us move to the right side by clicking on this. See, the more you move, doesn't matter how far you go, you keep seeing the serial numbers. They are all there. So this is what we achieve by going to the view and using the freeze panes. So we are done with that. Our sheet is ready for data capturing, but if you want to add more designs, you can do as much as you want. For instance, you may decide to select this section, drag it down to this point and go to the home menu, go to this that says highlight fill color. If you click it down, You may decide to select a particular color to differentiate the sections. As you have this, you can also go down. Let me drag this picture down. Go to section 2. As you click and hold it, drag it down to down here to this point. That is where we have the case 50. Now go back to home, click on fill, select a different color that you want, and it takes the color. Now we can also select the whole thing this way, select all, so that we'll add some borders to it. When you've done selecting them, go to home, click on it, move to this, not the font area, click this small arrow down and click all borders. So we have all borders. So see, I think it looks better this way. So this is how to prepare your data capture sheet. What we're going to do next is to enter the data. Thank you for being with me in this unit. I'll see you in the next unit.